What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the GoodeBaker podcast. I'm Nick Baker, and across from me, Shane Good.
Yo, what's Gucci?
And joining us in the room, Deborah Good, but she's going to be real quiet.
Yo.
And we're here to talk to you about some video games. First things first, though, I want to remind you to go to all of our social media platforms.
All of them.
Like, share, subscribe, all of those.
All of them.
Make
Go
sure you
do it.
keep up with us on YouTube because we're dropping content like it's hot over there weekly. So, yeah, just keep up with us because we're doing great things over here. So, what have you been playing this week?
Path of Exile.
Path of Exile, new season.
New season.
Tell me about it.
New season dropped. Okay, there's two pieces of it. I don't like the mechanic.
Oh, no.
The mechanic, it's not for me. I don't really like it. It's too tedious. It's not the way that I like to play PoE. However, that doesn't make it bad. It just makes it something I personally don't like. It's a really cool mechanic. It's a great tool that they created, and it's different than something that they've done before, and it has a different twist. You know, when you're 10 seasons deep into a game and you're still creating new things that you haven't done, but still finding ways to benefit the game and grow content for the game, that's really cool, and I think that they're doing a fantastic job doing it. It's not I like to go fast. I like to just the next thing, and this is like, you plant some seeds, you do a couple maps, you come back, they're grown, you kill them, you plant some more seeds, you create this massive elaborate scheme on how to get tier 1 seed fluid into the tier 2 seed chamber dispensers. It's just a little too
in the weedsy, you know.
Yeah, it's too tedious for me.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. But it is cool that they're keeping contemporary and changing things up on the fly, like you said.
Yeah, it's super cool. Other than that, really like the league. I always love playing PoE, especially from the start. You know, There's 10 of us that play together all the time when we play. So it's been, I think, we're 3 days out, right from Friday. 3 days from Friday.
Not today's Monday, so it'd be
4 days.
4 days. Yep.
So in the 4 days, I have 29 hours played, which is pretty good considering I've worked as well.
From Friday, yeah. So you're right, 3 days.
Yeah, 3 days. And it's almost 3 days.
Till Friday.
It's less than 3 days because it came out at 4 and it's 3. So anyways, wow.
Impressive.
I am playing a different build than I've played ever before. I'm playing a zombie build, which is basically,
So what is that? Yeah, I was just gonna ask you what a zombie build is built to do.
Basically it's bossing. It's not for clear speed. It's not for anything like that. It's literally just for doing stupid amounts of damage really quick. I have 10 zombies. They walk up to something and they hit it once and it dies. They move on.
Nice.
That's pretty much it. I am changing my build when I get home today, though. I'm going to be re-rolling my character. The zombie build was just to get me through the first piece of, the little first start of mapping, and then get me to the second build, which I wanted to do, which was an animate weapon build. So this is an interesting build. It literally, the gear that you drop on the ground, it turns into a weapon that fights along your side.
That's pretty cool. So does it matter whether or not the weapon stats at all? Does it matter?
No, it's all based off of the skill and the links that you've skilled to it and stuff like that.
I was gonna say that'd be really cool to just drop a dagger, and it's not gonna do anything really devastating, but it's scampers along and kills a rat somewhere.
It does. If you resurrect a dagger, it will be a dagger that comes up. They modeled it correctly, so if you resurrect an axe, it's an axe.
It's gonna be a dagger cuts down a dragon. Or
pretty much, yeah, pretty much. And I'm not even going to be doing it you won't resurrect gear that's on the ground because it's too time consuming. And truth be told, your minions only last about 80 seconds, and once they die, that's it. You'd have to go find more gear. However, there's another skill called I think it's Impale of Daggers, and it's exactly what it sounds like. A bunch of daggers just rain from the sky, and guess what? Those daggers can be resurrected.
Sounds like the old D&D move, Cloud Daggers.
Very, very similar.
4th edition, man. I miss 4th edition.
Yeah. But what have you been playing, dude? I got a feeling I know what you've been playing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So why don't you tell me what you've been playing?
I've been playing The Last of Us Part 2.
What?
Yeah. It came out this Friday. As a lot of people know, it's very divisive.
Yup.
Looking online, obviously, right before this, we saw some pretty scathing reviews for it.
Yeah, man.
For me, I'm having a great time with it. It's an incredible experience. I think from start to finish, the story alone is something that's gripped me from the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just starts and you're in. And if you played the last game at all, it picks you up right where you left off without any spoilers. It's just picks you right up and you're off and running. And the mechanics of this game you can immediately see have been upgraded to a fine polish that makes the game just seamless to play now. The crafting system and the combat was all very, very well done in the first game. I thought it was very fluid. It made sense for what kind of game they were going for. Really tense. Like when you knelt down to craft, it took you a little while to wrap some duct tape around a hammer or whatever you're doing. So in this game, it's very similar, but it feels, everything feels escalated and everything feels on like that next gen level because, obviously Last of Us was a last gen title.
Right.
This is the first Last of Us for this generation and
coming out literally as the generation ends.
I mean, as a swan song for the PS4, I can't think of a better, eclipse of the original for the PS3.
Definitely a pretty game, dude.
Yeah,
I've
without
seen
getting
gameplay
too deep into the weeds, it's a gorgeous game. It's a heartbreaking experience for sure. The characters you've known and grown to love are forever changed, I think, in this game, and you feel it because you're so invested in the characters, even if you are just watching along. So many of us have. I know people that just watch Let's Plays of this game and just fall in love with the characters just as somebody that's viscerally playing it themselves.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a testament to how great this game is as well. So I highly recommend it, even beyond all the negative reviews. I think that it's a game that you don't necessarily have to play, but I think that everybody should at least invest some time and like go look at this as like a figurehead for what games can be for storytelling, really, really tense, emotional gameplay, which is not something that you typically think of when you're playing a game.
Yeah.
But when a game's really good and it hits you just right, it's a different experience altogether. And I think that this game is next gen in all those ways that a lot of games just completely forget about, and that's hard. And I'm really excited to get to the end of it because it's one of the best stories in video games I think I've ever seen, or I think we'll see for a really long time.
That's dope, man. I'm really glad to hear that. Speaking of heart, though, putting your heart into things, we've got something we put our heart into.
Oh yeah. So I was gonna leave this to the end.
You were gonna leave us to the end?
Yeah. Well, let's leave this to the end.
Oh, jeez. All right, fine.
That was such a good segue though.
That was such a good segue. All right, whatever.
We'll switch gears with a game that I hope has just as much heart as The Last of Us.
Still a good segue.
Yes, still a very good segue. Cyberpunk 2077 was delayed again, and I feel like we had this conversation a few months ago.
We did
on the podcast. We're like, there's no way they're gonna delay it again. They have so many more months, and they said it was ready.
We're gonna have to go back. I'm 100% sure I thought that it was going to get delayed again because I was 100% sure that I thought that this game was going to be a console release.
Yeah,
I think it is.
I think
they were close enough, dude.
Now that I'm remembering, yeah, I think you did say that at one point. But I was so convinced. Because I want it so damn bad. It was supposed to come out before now in April, man.
Dude, it was supposed to come out in April.
I'm so glad, though, in a way that it's pushed, because now it's not going to... I don't think it's going to be a next-gen launch game, because
I think it'll launch with next-gen.
I think they said that the next-gen version is coming out in 2021.
Yikes.
So,
yeah,
that's that. But it coming out at that time means that you can play the PS4 and Xbox one versions on the PS5 and Xbox
Right.
Series X. So it's going to be up-res, all that, but the better version and the actual PS5, Xbox Series X versions of those games are going to come out in 2021, according to them. So, I mean, and they said that they're going to be robust, quote, I guess. So I don't know if they're going to add more content or if it's going to be like the Game of the Year edition of that. So we might have a time frame of an expected release being maybe holiday 2021, because usually those Game of the Year editions wait until like October or November to come out.
And if that is the case, then I would imagine as well, like you get a PS5, you're like, I'm going to play Cyberpunk, you throw it in, there's a big download, all of a sudden they're like, also that expansion that we were talking about that came out that makes it look better on the PS5, here's 40 gigabytes to download of new textures. That's probably what I could imagine them doing with it.
Yeah, I think that it's going to look and play great on the next gen no matter what, even if it's not like the mint version.
Oh, 100%, dude. 100%.
But that's a terrible way to say that. Damn.
A little bit.
Whatever. Moving on, we have Pokemon DLC that came out last week, or
You can hear Paul now.
5 days ago, 6 days ago now.
Yeah.
Paul is super excited. Our resident Pokemon expert is giddy about the new expansion. He's catching them all, man. He's
catching
them
fucking
all.
One of them.
And if he listens to this podcast, he'll know I haven't been catching them all. I've been so invested in thinking about the Pokemon DLC released a few days before The Last of Us. I just couldn't stop thinking about The Last of Us. And
that's
I
fair.
end up picking this one up. So I'm not back into Pokemon yet, but I will probably take a stab at this DLC at some point.
I'm assuming you won't take forever to beat The Last of Us because you want to get through it. So you'll have free time.
I've been playing it pretty much whenever I get the chance. So other than a night ago, I did play some Call of Duty, but that's for another time.
Dang. All right.
The big deal with this Pokemon event that they had alongside the DLC release was that they announced new Pokemon Snap for the Switch.
Snap, baby.
And this blew their minds. This blew everyone's damn mind that loved Pokemon Snap on the N64, because they've been asking for it on the digital shop for years.
Yeah.
It's such a weird fan favorite.
Dude, it has a cult following.
It's a rail shooter.
Yeah.
Practically. And you just take pictures of Pokemon in cute little poses. And
hang on, though. There are a lot of secrets about that game that people don't know about if you take specific pictures and, like, how you can... Not that I'm, like, a fan of it, but, like, I know that there's crazy stuff
Not that
about
I'm, like,
it.
a fan of it, but I'm a fan. No, for sure. The game definitely held a lot of, like, crazy secrets. I remember seeing a video on all the little hidden gems in old Pokemon games.
You can find Mewtwo in there.
And all this crazy things you had to do to get Pokemon to do certain things. So
yeah.
I'm fully convinced that this is going to be a fully fledged title, and they're not going to half-ass this one out the door just simply because everybody wanted it. I think that this is one they've had in the oven for a while. And,
they don't Nintendo doesn't half-ass a lot.
No.
Like, it's just, they'll cancel things usually before they half-ass it.
Yeah. One I am worried about is that Ninjala. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, I've seen, like, quick things about it.
It's sort of like a Splatoon clone in a way. Like, it has that similar feel, but I don't think it has quite the zhuzh, if you know what I mean.
Is that half-assed, or is that just not made well to begin with? You know?
Damn Nintendo. Maybe you'll prove us wrong. Maybe Ninjala will be the next Fortnite.
Dude, maybe it'll be the bee's knees or the cat's ass.
So, before we get into the EA Play rundown that we have here, there's only a few things that EA Play actually announced. There's a bunch of sizzle reels that we won't go over. But
sizzle.
First, which was announced today and rumored and all this bullshit, leaks, Crash Bandicoot 4 was finally revealed today to be its tagline is "It's about time." I guess there's a bunch of time travel that this one has to do with. So Crash Bandicoot,
what a friggin'
from the grave,
dude. Literally, honestly, all we need now is a brand new Spiral game. Wait a second.
You could be onto something.
Anyways,
but yeah, definitely really cool that they're resurrecting like the full franchise. It's a full sequel. They have all kinds of crazy new ideas. There's new masks and powers that you can get in this one.
That's cool.
Looks like far and away an expansion of all the levels and stuff like that. They're gonna have wider, more expansive levels, it seems like. So look forward to that one if you're a Crash fan. I'm a Crash fan. I haven't played the games in a while, so
I played it on PS3, like when they came out.
Yeah.
It's been 10 years, at least.
So this brings us to the EA breakdown. So the
EA breakdown.
The EA Play breakdown. Apex Legends is the first thing on their list. They are bringing that to Switch. It's going to usher in a new era for the game, which is bringing crossplay to all platforms, including Switch, which is interesting for those people playing on PC that have 140 plus frames, destroying these cats with like 20 frames on Switch.
I noticed your Switch is running a little slow. I also noticed you can't turn right. You should get that stick drift fixed, Nintendo.
Dang. But yeah, good for Apex Legends. Finally joining the crossplay. I guess.
I mean, they've been in
section.
Yeah.
Man, I'm just losing words today.
Losing them all.
Yeah. The next one on the list they had was It Takes Two. It's a co-op action platformer game. The story puts you in the shoes of a child whose parents are divorced, and she is now dealing with that by creating imaginary friends, versions of her parents that then go on this crazy adventure. So it's like
interesting.
It's very, very indie. So this part of the show was very indie. So they it looked interesting though. I will say that the art style was very much like a sketchbook art style. So it almost like the Take On Me video. You remember that one?
Yep.
Very much like that, except with color.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
Giving you a perfect visual, I think.
Fair. That's fair.
Next is one of the EA subsidiaries, Zoink Games, announces a strange little adventure game called Lost in the Random, which sets you in the world of
fucking name
random,
where
a single dice, which is the effigy of this game, is the holder of all the power. So there's this girl. You play this girl, and you have this dice sidekick, but the dice sidekick is one of the dice of power in the world, and then you're trying to defeat another dice of power. It's very, very convoluted. The trailer is really impressive, though. It's very Tim Burton like in its animation. So
that sounds
if
interesting.
You're into that, it's
is he like a one? Is he like a dice? Is he like? Does he have a 1 on him? And like, he's trying to defeat like the 20 dice.
No. He's like a 6-sided die, and I guess the other die is a 20-sided die.
Oh well, he can't win. I mean,
there's no way. The odds are against him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just math.
Anyways.
So, next, they announced. They didn't announce this one. This was re-revealed. Is Rocket Arena is a 3v3 arena shooter. That's pretty much rocket launcher versus rocket launcher. You're shooting all over the map. There's different attachments and things for your rocket launcher. They can shoot multiple homing rockets or a controllable rocket. It
just seems broken.
Yeah, it's gonna need some fine tuning for sure. Because you put rocket launchers in the hands of 11-year-olds, you're gonna have some problems.
You're gonna have some raging kids.
Yeah, that one's coming out July 14th, so that's pretty soon.
That's pretty quick.
I don't know if that one was free to play or not. It did look like one of those ones that might be free to play. I didn't check into that, but yeah. Comment in the comments below if that one's free to play. No one's gonna do that.
Probably not. Deborah, quick, look it
up. The last thing before the big thing.
Oh, yes.
And you know what the big thing is if you watch EA play, so stick around.
It's true.
Star Wars Squadron was officially revealed, and this one was another one that was leaked to hell last week.
Oh, yeah, it was uber leaked.
Yeah, really cool concept. I love the idea of like a Star Wars dogfighter. I love Rogue Squadron. I think it came out on the N64 Rogue Squadron. I loved that game, and it brought to life that Star Wars ship battling
Yeah.
that we all loved the original trilogy, and now that they're kind of bringing all of the world of Star Wars in that way, at least the like Star battles and all of that into the current gen, I'd say, because the dice stuff was very simplistic, and the cockpit wasn't very detailed. I think that they took what dice had in the Battlefront games, really refined it, made things really, really detailed. There's going to be a VR version of the game that puts you directly in the cockpit, and you can play in first person in the original, the standard edition as well. There's going to be a bunch of different game modes. The focus of which I think is going to be the 5v5 just dogfight mode, where it's just team deathmatch going against one another in space. It's going to be dope. But
that'll be pretty cool.
The Battlefield-like mode is the fleet battles, which puts you through all kinds of different scenarios, like defend this, attack that, escape this, you know.
Seems very Arma 3.
Yeah,
if you know what that game is.
Yeah, I remember the Arma games. So, definitely a really cool, interesting release for EA, especially when there's a lack of a Battlefront, and I think Battlefield isn't coming back this year either.
Nope,
I think
it should be the off year
next year. So,
although
this was the year that they were supposed to have one out, but I think it's delayed.
Jack Frags did a video on Battlefield 6 not too long ago.
Yeah, I did. I watched that one. They during this, which we didn't put on here, we didn't talk about it, but we'll talk about it briefly now, I guess. They had a kind of like a teaser stinger for what to expect from Battlefield 6. They were talking a lot about the scale being larger, so battles will probably have more players in them, probably upscale to 100-player battles, so 50 versus 50 would be the new conquest.
Pretty cool. I mean, I could see 64 versus 64, especially with...
Yeah, I could see that too. I wonder if they'll experiment with how many players they put in at first, just like a Fortnite did, or like the one before Warzone, Blackout.
Yeah, Blackout. Blackout didn't have a ton, right?
It started at I think it started at 80, and then they were like pushed it to 90, and then they just went to 110 or 120, and they brought it back down. They were constantly balancing it, and I think they really struck a really great balance with 150 with Warzone. I think that's a really enjoyable Call of Duty battle royale experience, because you want that fast-paced action when you're playing COD. So
definitely the fast-paced action, the ability to revive people and keep that action going.
But Star Wars Squadron is going to be released on October 2nd. So look forward to that one if you're into those star battle shooter games. But onto the piece de resistance, and I say that a lot, but this is special because we've been talking about this since the beginning of the podcast, and we might have even mentioned this on the very first episode.
I think we did.
And now on episode 60, 60.
Damn.
Skate is finally getting resurrected.
Skate 4, dude.
Dude, the last one was in 2010.
Yep. I
looked that up before this just to make sure.
You could have just asked me.
It's been 10 years. It's been 10 years since Skate 3.
Which, no. It's going to be longer because they just announced it.
Yeah, that's true. So it's
going to probably be
have been
at least
20
a year.
years.
Yikes. Don't do that to me.
No. Well, you got Tony Hawk to look over, man.
Yeah.
So what do you it's going to be awesome, I think.
I mean,
it's going to be next gen, obviously. So
it's
the PC version of this is probably going to be blown the fuck out by then.
There's a couple things that really get me with this. So Microsoft announced, obviously, 2 years ago that with CSE that everything that they do on Xbox will now be playable on computer. So it is guaranteed to be playable on computer.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited about that. And then on top of it being guaranteed to be playable on computer, that means mods. That means personal updates of people recreating it. That means people are gonna go nuts with 3D modeling, and like there's just gonna be so much in this game.
This is going to hopefully set a new precedent for skating games. The new Tony Hawk looks great. I'm gonna really enjoy that game when that comes out, just because I was such a Tony Hawk fan. But dude,
Yeah.
I enjoyed the skate games immensely more because they were
just
so
cool.
tighter.
Yeah.
The skating was so much better. Like, it was so more realistic. And I mean, obviously Tony Hawk's supposed to be like an arcade game where you're flying around getting like a huge score, but it's the way that they made skate about like the roots of skating, which was that street, like, go anywhere, skate anything. And seeing that on the next gen with like the power of ray tracing and like all the different the draw distance, load times, you can just literally get on a plane and fly to Los Angeles and skate Los Angeles, or you fly from Los Angeles, you skate London, and there's all kinds of crazy things that they could do with this.
It's gonna be amazing.
And EA has the architecture from all kinds of different cities, from like all of their racing games. Need for Speed has taken place in so many exotic places that they could just take pieces of assets from that. Like, I'm so excited to see what they finally do with something like this, because Skate 3 was even huge at the time.
And Skate 3 was amazing.
Yeah.
I'm super excited. Ugh.
But yeah, I think that's enough skate talk. We gotta cut it out early. It seems like our studio's gonna get pretty loud here in a second, but I'm so excited for this. I can't wait. Man. I can't wait for all these games, man. There's so much going on just this week, but the summer of gaming has just begun for IGN, and they're just blowing news out of the doors. So we're gonna have so much to talk about in the coming weeks. We're gonna have a spoiler cast for The Last of Us that I hopefully will get James to be a part of. He's really excited about that, so hopefully he'll be on for that. We still got to do the Final Fantasy VII spoiler cast. I'm gonna grab Anthony and do that sometime in the next week or so.
Sweet.
So look for that. That's going to be separate from any of these, so the regular podcast stream will be unaffected, but it'll be right there for you if you're looking for that Final Fantasy
goodness.
Yeah, the Final Fantasy itch that you're looking to scratch. But yeah, till next week. Peace.